Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic. We are here to react to that Hunter x Hunter greatness, or as it's rightly pronounced, Hunter Hunter. All right, I might start saying it like that because I like the way it rolls off the tongue. Like it sounds great, and it makes more sense, right? Because like a hunter that hunts hunters, other hunters. You know what I mean? Generally, that's kind of how like the relationships between like a lot of these like figures, these characters work. They always kind of going after each other, doing certain things. So I don't know. I might say Hunter Hunter uh, for now until whenever. Whenever like I slip up and say Hunter x Hunter or whatever, right? So last time we left off, the Phantom Troop were doing a thing. As always, they always doing a thing. Unless Hisoka's killing them off, then they're not doing anything. But I'm really looking forward to this, right? We know, I think generally the majority of us that are on Twitter that follow Hunter x Hunter pretty thoroughly understand that there is going to be a hiatus in chapter 380. So I'm doing an earlier reaction to that chapter just because I think I want to talk about that a little bit in this reaction/review. And I think it's important to just kind of like, really say a few things about that, about people's views on the hiatus. Certain things that just kind of bug me a little bit. They rub me the wrong way. And I think in some ways they say something about the people that make comments like that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit after the fact. But me personally, just generally, like it doesn't concern me like much. In terms of like Togashi, I say ToGODshi because ToGODshi makes more sense to me because he's an amazing writer and in some ways like an artist. But it doesn't concern me much. One, because like I read other manga. Like it's like, one, I read other manga that I enjoy just as much as Hunter x Hunter. So it's not like, oh, if Hunter x Hunter goes on a break, I'm just like, whatever. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, Hunter x Hunter is gone. What am I gonna do with my life? I'm like, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna do all these things. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna read all these other manga out there that are like phenomenal. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like whatever. In some ways, like yes, like of course, like you want to see more chapters, but I think that knowing about the health conditions of Togashi and his state, for me, it's like it doesn't make any sense for me to complain or be like, oh, where's the chap? Like, dude, like the man is physically like, has a physical ailment that is pretty serious. And for the job that he's doing, like, it makes total sense that he can only do things for so long and then take a break. Like, if anything, other mangaka should be taking breaks too. They should be like, mangaka should be able to take a break for a month and then come right back and like do certain things. But that doesn't generally happen. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like really happy that Togashi gets to take these breaks because when he does come back, the content is always fire. It always looks like he's done tons of research and really thought about how he's constructing the story and the dialogue and the characters and the references and the allusions to particular things and allusions to other stories and other sorts of media and stuff like that. So for me, I'm always grateful. That's how I feel about it. Maybe if I was like 16 or something like that, I would have been like, oh, what's going on? But now that I'm like 29, going on 30, and like I know what it kind of means to have like certain back issues and stuff like that, and physical ailments and things, and like and still have to like work and do certain things that require you to be particularly physical. I get it. So I don't mind. So let's get into the chapter. Let's get into the chapter though. I'm going to talk about that a bit later on too. But let's get into the chapter because that's what it's about. The One Piece chapter reaction. I like. Look, I just don't care about One Piece right now. Like I don't. Maybe it's sometime later. Maybe during the week. I don't know. Maybe I will do that today. Maybe I'll just like read a few. Maybe I'll read the chapters today. But I think the problem with that is like, then it looks like I'm reading the chapters because I want to hate on them or whatever. And I think that like people are already discussing like what happened, whatever happened in chapter 900. You know what I mean? So whatever, whatever happened in that, it's like, okay. You know, like for me, like I'm not concerned about it right now. It's like I mean, I wish I was interested, but right now I'm like whatever. You know, um, so that's how I feel about that. You know, like it's not like oh, I react to One Piece because I want to rant about One Piece. I reacted to One Piece because I really love One Piece and I want to read One Piece. But right now I'm just like not interested in what's going on. It doesn't do much for me at all, and I just don't want to like continue to like rant about these things and to sort of be a figure that does that and to be looked upon as a figure that does that. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I feel about it. You know? Yeah. So I think what I might do, like I feel like the arc's gonna end pretty soon, anyways. So when the arc ends, I'll do like I'll read all the chapters up to that point, and then I'll just continue reacting to One Piece again. But for right now, I just don't care about like One Piece at all. I'm just like whatever. So Hunter x Hunter, y'all. Let's get into it. That's what this video is about. So chapter 378 is entitled Collaboration. No, 379 is entitled Collaboration. 380 is going to be the last chapter that Togashi draws until like he comes back and rests and does his thing. I heard a knock, and she went to the door. She opened it, and shortly after, I heard someone collapse. I called out, but there was no reply. Hey, are you okay? I stepped out of the bathroom, and he was standing there. Oh boy. Move. I stepped aside. Wow. I'll kill you if you make a noise. As if he needed to tell me. I can neither move nor make a sound. Oh boy. All I could focus on all I could focus on was doing as he said, so he would spare my life. Now what? I was gonna stop at 20. That was the whole point of going for single rooms. Please don't kill me. I was praying silently, certain that I'd be killed if I uttered a word. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20? Wait, it's 21. Oh, right. Levels and number of people are offset by 1. Ugh, that bothers me. Which number should I count by? I had no idea what he was mumbling about, right? Like, I mean, like he's like, what I can't remember the person's name. But they have like that Nen ability that's like very much like a Ponzi, like a pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? Which again, Togashi just does brilliant work with abilities and what they mean and how they allude to real life issues and things that and things that occur like pyramid schemes. This won't work. It's too odd. I gotta do it. Right when I thought I was dead, there was a scream outside and the sounds of people milling around. People running down the hall, pounding on the doors, screams. There was so much noise outside. And he locked the bathroom door from the inside. From the inside? Yes. I sat there until the Royal Army pried open the door. The man had escaped. But the pipes aren't big enough for a rat, much less a human. The soldiers said the same thing, but he didn't come out. They confirmed that the door was locked. Just, please, catch him and ask him. If her statement is true, the perp uses Nen, but it bothers me. Killing would only take a second. Why leave a witness? He was rattled by the noise? No, it doesn't match his profile. A man who killed 20 people so quickly. Levels, number of people, offset, and the numbers 20 and 21? Those are clues to the mystery. So, how did you know the victim? We happened to sit next to each other to eat. We hit it off right away. She wanted advice about her personal life. I didn't even get to give it to her. Please, go rest in your cabin for now. We'll have to talk to you again. Yo. Highly associate. Cashew, level 1. Bruh. Yo, Togashi, man. I can't with this dude, man. ToGODshi. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's move it on. Let's move on. Ah, man. Level 1, yo. Come on. I mean, just the lies. Yo, and the thing about that is like people that are just knee deep in pyramid schemes where they're like selling particular products and stuff. Um, that's just how they are. They like put on a mask. They act like they're your best friend. They're like, yo, come on, you can make some money. Let's do this, you and me. We're gonna be a team. You're gonna be part of this family, this corporate family. Da, da, da. And then like you meet some people that have gone through it and have just like utterly failed and are broke and are in debt because like they bought so much they bought so much product that like and they couldn't sell it. You know what I mean? It's just like because the product generally tends to be like trash. You know, like it's nothing that like people have ever heard of or even would necessarily want to try. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just people, they just, a lot of people in these pyramid schemes, they put on masks, just masks. And they will lie to your face. They will lie to your face. You're going to make a whole lot of money, 100% guarantee. You know what I mean? Like, look, come on. Togashi doing great work here. Doing great work here. All right, let's move on. I'll mix the truth with lies like that. It hints at why I wasn't killed too. Good idea. Make sure to describe my scar accurately. Are you sure? I want to know their investigative ability, like how long it takes between identifying me and getting found. Are you sure? You'll be put to death if they catch you. I won't get caught. And even if I did, I'd escape. The boss said your ability will provide for you if you wish hard enough. I can feel it. I've just been bestowed with a gift. This power will take me to where I want to go. And then Luini disappeared from the bathroom. A transportation ability. I don't really care for it. Is it really that fun to get it over with so fast? I'll go slowly, with leveling up and asking for the gift. I've succeeded in contacting the investigators. Now, time to get to know them better. Man, this person's disgusting, man. On some serial killer-like type stuff. One door and a room of impenetrable walls. Those are the activation conditions of my ability. And then, from the wall or floor, I can go somewhere else. I can go to the back. I can go back to the original room wherever and from wherever. But if the original door opens and is no longer sealed, and no longer a sealed room, the ability resets, and I can never use it in that room again. I'm also limited to only places I've been to before. I think I can also go outside the ship, but considering the danger of getting reset, I can't test it right now. First, I'll enjoy this collaboration with the spiders. Oh boy. Whoa. All gone. No. One got away. I don't like it. It's telling us to go after him. Blood is dry. This is done around the same time as the other one. I don't get what this guy wants to do. The first corpse was enough to blame on us. If they let one go, they'll find out it wasn't us. If the victim is alive. Maybe this one isn't related to us. It was done by someone else? No. Why did he injure one, then let him go? To show the way to the hideout, right? If we had reacted upon seeing the body and argued with the others, creating a conflict, that would have been great. But since we were unfazed and continued with our search, he took it upon himself to get to the Cha'ar hideout. So you're saying he randomly tried to use us, and since it didn't work, he had to go with his first plan? No plan at all, right? It sounds just like us. It's just speculation. Like you said, it could be two killers. Maybe he failed to kill and went after him. But that first corpse, that was totally messing with us. We would have noticed if it was Hisoka's gum. If the corpse was pulled up and over our heads, not Hisoka. Wound wasn't made by card, something bigger, and it was shoddy. This guy wants to pick a fight, not with us, but with the Cha'ar. Security cams here, in the lowest decks. I wonder what's inside. God only knows. It's locked. Not a big surprise. Hey. Huh? I'm Wang, Cha'ar underboss. I was told to wait, but I hate waiting. I'll ask only what you can answer. Huh? Did you attack the warehouse guards? So we're back to the sort of like sort of meeting area on the like lowest deck. And I think that's Franklin that's eating. Yeah, Franklin's just eating at a table by himself. And he's pretty much done with his food. And I kind of find it funny, like the way they sort of show the food, even the food, right? It's like Franklin's just eating like these little bits of food, and this other person has like a bunch of food on their plate. We moved over already. Got something else to say? Aren't you going to find Hisoka, Franklin? I don't waste effort. He's looking to kill us too. If I sit and wait, he'll come find me. Cha'ar consigliarge, or consigliere, I guess is how you pronounce it. Consigliere. Itoku. I see. I just got a call from my boys. 2 warehouse guards were killed, 4 taken. What do you think? It wasn't us. Actually, it depends if you guys pick the fight. We'll always pick up the gauntlet. That's what I don't get. It was a done deal that your 3 friends were going to get their weapons. There was no reason for us to fight. And then it wasn't us. It was someone else who used the situation. Was it Hisoka? Who knows? It could be him. It might not. It wasn't us. I see. By the way, did you come on board just for Hisoka? No. We're bandits after all. But we won't take any next steps until we kill Hisoka. If there's no gauntlet, we won't pick it up. All right. Sorry to bother you. Yes. All right. And I think that was really interesting. There's a kind of like metaphor here, right? Where Franklin is eating his food, and like he's pretty much gone through it. He's gone through his entire sort of plate, right? He's eaten all the food. And then there's this other dude, Itoku, who is a Cha'ar consigliere, and he puts down, he or she, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with a dude, but I'm not sure. I think it's a dude. And they put down the plate of food, don't eat anything, and then when they're done, they put a cigarette in the food. It's such a wasteful thing to do, and it just says a lot about like their sort of characters, about who they are, maybe they're like a little bit into like what they value, how they move, stuff like that. Stuff like that I think is really, really cool, like by Togashi, to like do those little things. Because Togashi, I don't think ever does something like that where he'll like have a panel, place that panel, show another panel that's related to it, and that have no meaning. So I thought it was a really nice, like stuff like that is why I love Togashi. It's a really nice touch. It's kind of like Yu Yu Hakusho when Togoro asks for a glass of like orange juice over ice, like like dude, orange juice over ice, like what is that? You know what I mean? So it tells you a little bit about Togoro's character. All right, so next page. Yes, all right. Forgive me. I'm getting the whole story now. That's the Cha'ar hideout. A man came by just now carrying a bloody guard. The stupid associate was too shocked and let them in. The shooting started right after that? No. According to those in the hideout, the guy's face was too bloody to recognize, and he was yelling, "The spiders did it. I told you we didn't do it." So it's his plot. I know. He slipped away, and the guard was dead. What's annoying is he thinks he can manipulate us with such a crude trick. I'm glad you were calm, reasonable people. He was probably a hitman from another family that desires conflict. Or maybe the goal was to get into the hideout itself. What do you mean? Marking is one of the conditions of a teleportation ability. They can't jump to somewhere they haven't been before. So we came here to fulfill that condition. If you use Nen, you should understand how dangerous that is now that he's succeeded. Divorced from balance. Unreserved with no allegiances. They move how they want, and they have the power to execute on it. As I feared, they are a risk factor that must be eliminated. What would you say if I said we should work together? Yo, it's so good, right? Like, it's like, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's never like straightforward in a particular way, right? Like, it's like, even though like the Phantom Troop is generally like, they're very straightforward in certain ways. And like how they move, the way like they decide to do things, they're like, yo, we just say what we want. We do what we want. That's it. No questions. No questions. Right? But like even in this situation, like they would like they're still doing what they generally want to do. Right? Even though it looks like it's a very sort of complicated thing, right? It's like, and this dude realizes it extremely quickly. He's like, yo, like, yeah, we should work together, but I definitively understand that like these dudes need to die. Like they can't just chill here, do whatever they want. Because even now, he's like I don't think they want to work with the Phantom Troop, but he realizes that he has to if he wants some sort of semblance of balance or control or whatever. You know what I mean? If he just lets them kind of do what they're doing, they just like, and he also realizes just how intelligent they are and the things that they figured out and everything like that. Like, it's just, man, Togashi's wonderful. Just a wonderful, wonderful writer. You know what I mean? And for me, like, this doesn't bother me, one, because like, I don't mind if there's a lot of text in a manga, because like, it doesn't bother me much. I can like, but I understand that it bothers other people. I totally get that. You know, I think I'm gonna kind of go away from like ranking chapters unless I really want to rank them. Like unless it was like a really good chapter or a bad chapter, like, you know. But this chapter was pretty good. Again, I'm not gonna rank it. I have an idea of how I would rank it, but I'm just kind of like over that right now. And you know, if it's like a manga that I really really want to rank, then I will. But for right now, this is a really good chapter. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy like seeing the spiders interact with people. I enjoyed this side of things. I enjoy Togashi just kind of like showing us that like what's his name? Maelstrom, I think is his name, or something like that. The dude who's the cow Zodiac, and like or the bull. I'm not sure which one. Probably bull, because like, I mean, he's just like a cow. But probably like a bull or ram or whatever, you know. But super super dope that like, you know, we're reading that and we're like, this person is so you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just so like sneaky and devious, but like puts on this mask and it's just like, all right, we good. I'm gonna fool these people. I want to see how they move. It's just funny to me. Let me go on to the next chapter. So I really like the chapter, and I love the whole pyramid scheme thing. I think that's just brilliant and it's wonderful, and it works in this space, right? If it was just like, oh, here's the stuff, here's this sort of scheme that's happening outside in the world, and and there's all the space and everything like that, then it wouldn't work as well. It's almost like, right? It's like a really like intense like this arc is kind of like a really intense sort of version of like Clue or something like that, you know? And a tournament, like it's like Clue and a tournament arc, like just like put together. It's just really, really great. I really love it. So let's move on to the next chapter, y'all. Let's go to the scan. Because you know translations for that are gonna be weird. So last chapter. Then the hiatus, y'all. Then the hiatus, all right? Yo, what is up? What up? Shugama, what is good? DJ, what is up? What is up? Let me Go to 380. So the title of chapter 380 is Alarm. All right. Let's get into it. We are here today to deal with the atrocious crimes that have taken place on board. In particular, the series of killings that transpired on Deck 3. After 3 days at sea, it's unlikely that stress from long-term confinement or some kind of cabin fever. Analyzing the crimes. Wait, let me read that again because that sounded weird. After 3 days at sea, it's unlikely that stress from long-term confinement or some kind of cabin fever. Yeah, that's a weird sentence because it's not really a sentence. It's odd. It's like missing something. Like it's missing like the sort of predicate part that would give you that would make the sentence make sense. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's a weird. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Analyzing the crime scenes and looking at them from different viewpoints, such as the victims' profiles, motives, and statistics. The objective of this murder was the murder itself. Or I guess the objective of this murder was the murder itself. It's just weird translation, these type stuff. It's really odd. I don't know how to feel about that. Killing for killing's sake, almost sacrificial. The murder itself was the objective of this crime, as if it were a component for some kind of magic power. The criminal's mumblings were probably the conditions for his power. The numbers and specific words he used suggest some kind of ceremony or ritual. Taking all that into account, along with the unique circumstances of the ship, the possibility that the multiple isolated crimes are in fact connected serial killings having to do with the seed urn ceremony for the succession of the next king is extremely high. He's a detective. He's a criminal hunter, yo. Come on now. Let's go. Hunter x Hunter or Hunter. I cannot accept that. You mean to imply that the princes are behind these murders? Ridiculous. There's absolutely zero possibility that the princes have left the first deck. Besides, the succession war is a battle between the princes in the first place. What need would they have to kill so many regular passengers with no connection to them? Please, if you would hear me out to the end. If one of the princes is the culprit, then there is no problem. We would simply need to tailor up a true culprit and brush it under the table. During its journey to the new continent, this boat shall be the battlefield where the next king of Kakin, destined to rule that continent, will be decided. In other words, the top priority of this ship, above all else, is the succession war. Until one final prince remains, all their actions are granted immunity, apart from directly killing the other princes. On the one hand, successors all possess succession immunity as the all-piercing spear of their royal privilege. But on the other hand, the murder of royalty is a capital crime protected by the impenetrable shield of the death penalty. It's because of this that two kinds of murders have become prevalent: contracted murders and inferred murders. The translator note says this paradox of the spear and shield make up the compound for the kanji for a contradiction. Okay, that's interesting. Read that one more time, just so I definitely get what's going on there. On the one hand, successors all possess succession immunity as the all-piercing spear of their royal privilege. Okay, yeah, they sort of to kind of kill without impunity, kill other people outside of the princes with impunity, right? But on the other hand, the murder of the royalty is a capital crime protected by the impenetrable shield of the death penalty. Okay. Now I got it. It's because of this that the two kinds of murders have become prevalent, right? The contracted murders, which makes sense, right? Because they can only kill in certain ways, right? And inferred murders, where you're not sort of sure, you're sure, you might be somewhat sure that certain murders have been committed due to the rules that are sort of set in place. So let's move on. This incident could be considered a surmised murder, and that's kind of a similar thing inferred, when he referenced inferred murders. Then we get back to the earlier problem. Why would they need to kill so many commoners? The answer to that lies in the black magic-like traits of the birthing jar ceremony. From the viewpoint of the politicians and statesmen who have continued to prosper since the founding days of this kingdom, it was all thanks to this ceremony. It would be natural for them to believe that they were gaining supernatural powers through the offering of human sacrifices. And this is a trend we see precedent for throughout human history, across all countries and various cultures. By the same rationale, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine that someone who inferred their prince's intent would believe that a large amount of blood must be spilled in order for them to achieve their goals and grant supernatural powers. Now we move on to the main topic. From here on out, the crimes will continue and they will increase. And when they exceed their critical point, the ship will sink. The panic and dismay of 200,000 people will give rise to paranoia and fear in the form of riots. It can't be. The bodyguards and royal army on board number roughly 2,000. A simple calculation puts that to about one guard for every 100 passengers. But in reality, 40% of those bodyguards are on the first deck, about 800, and another 600 on the second. 70% of our security is assigned to the upper class decks. Public safety and order on the fourth and fifth decks is left by the responsibility of the mafia. Currently, there would be 300 people to every one of our security personnel. If anything were to happen, the soldiers on the lower decks would essentially be powerless. We can't afford to wait another moment. We must put an end to these serial killings and restore safety, order, and peace of mind to the passengers. But how precisely do you suggest we accomplish that? The most effective way would be to interrupt or otherwise suspend the succession war, though that would not be realistic. Yeah, there's some weird, there are some missing words in this translation, that really sort of make the sentences kind of odd. They read sometimes they read just straight sentence fragments, and other times they don't. They kind of read just and sometimes they do read sentence fragments because there's a verb that's missing, something like that, a main verb that's missing or whatever. The second best countermeasure would be a reorganization and redeployment of the Royal Army. Assign 800 troops to decks 3 and lower, and put in a proposal to increase our numbers. That's just too much. The life or death of the kingdom of Kakin rests on this. I'm not trying to threaten or frighten you with those words. I believe if we propose this to the first prince, who is the central pillar of the kingdom's defense, he'd readily approve. We have more than sufficient data supporting these actions to ensure he should not be able to expect results. He should be able to expect results. Of course, in the event that the official minutes containing the rough outline of this plan should somehow not be reported to the first prince, well, you would be the ones in the worst situation. It feels like we sold our soul to the devil. It can't be helped. As long as we can't explain about Nen abilities, this is the best we can do. To regular people, the threat of the unknown is enough to detonate the bomb that is panic. Telling a bunch of regular Joes that there's a bunch of serial killers with superpowers around is completely beyond their range of understanding or acceptance. You've extended the fuse as much as you could. All that's left is to evacuate as many people as possible during that time and focus on defusing their explosives. I'll pull together all the association hunters in charge of guarding outside the prince's residential quarters and have them enforce a gag order regarding the upper Kaki members involved in this incident. The fuse that burns towards destruction, somehow, I get the feeling it's much shorter than I ever imagined. This is inside. This is the inside of our base. Cool. And this is a monitor room. So we're back with the spiders and the Sha'ar group. And this is the monitor room. It records surveillance over all the key areas of the 5th deck. Of course, that includes this room as well. Here's the footage of the man that brought the warehouse keeper with him. Through the confusion of their dispute, it's clear he's trying to open the door towards the inner area, but it was locked, so he gave up and escaped through the door he came in from. He did his best to ensure that his face wouldn't be caught on camera. Do you have any footage of inside the warehouse? The cameras are only installed on the entrance. You were the only 3 people that entered or left today outside of our own family's men. Rewind to yesterday and pull up a list of the non-family people that entered or exited them. It's highly possible that the culprit came to case the area. The cameras were installed the day before we embarked. The luggage was already loaded before then. If someone entered as a laborer, they wouldn't have been caught on the monitor. I'm not exactly expecting much. At any rate, they come from that direction. If they were trying to open the door, that is. Don't you want to see what's inside? Can't say I'm not interested, but I don't expect you to offer for free. So how about in exchange for the head of the person killing your family's men? Very well. Hey, as of now, these three will be joining the surveillance rotation. Yes, sir. Make sure to show them the ropes. I'm underling boss Sudonke. Got it. Roughly how many child family members are on this boat? I'd say at most I'd say roughly 250. Okay, now I hear it. Like when somebody had mentioned that the three families were Shueisha, but now that I'm when I say it without the sort of endings, it's weird. Like I didn't catch it at first. I feel like the way that it was translated by Viz made it a little harder to see, but I feel like I probably just wasn't paying attention. But now I can hear it. Like now that I think about it and everything like that, I'm like, okay, I hear it completely. So I think that's really dope. At most, roughly how many shop families are on this boat? At most, I'd say roughly 250. I can't say for sure about other families, but I'd assume they're around the same too. Whoa, it's the spiders. There's so much I want to ask them, but I can't do that in front of the other underlings. I wonder if I can create some kind of chance to be alone with them, one-on-one. I wonder if they give me an autograph. If you got money, can you head to the cafeteria on the 4th deck on your break time and get a more proper meal? If you pay Monet, you can head to the cafeteria on the 4th deck on your break time and get a more proper meal. Okay, here's like a map. Togashi's giving us another map about what's going on and where everyone is. So shouts out to you, Togashi, for doing that before you go on your hiatus. I appreciate it. I think a lot of us appreciate it. Deck, so we're looking at deck 3. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, so you generally see what's happening. 4th day of the voyage, 10 a.m. A stowaway in possession of a dangerous weapon is on the loose and is currently hiding somewhere on board. Under no circumstances should you leave your room or open your door unless instructed to by the military. Meals will be scheduled by area. You'll be escorted to the cafeteria by the military. We repeat, please do not leave your rooms without permission. Using human wave tactics, we will begin investigating from deck 3. Thoroughly search all rooms in the residential area and bring forth anyone suspicious. Anyone without a ticket, even a child, will be restrained. Please cooperate with the Army's operations. A stowaway has escaped and is in hiding. Hey, raise your hands and turn around slowly. Did you not hear the emergency announcement? I was sleeping and didn't notice. Ilumi and Miluki. Where's your, or Miluki, however you want to pronounce it. Where's your ID ticket? It's in my inside pocket. Pardon me, but why is a V2 like yourself in a place like this? Business. I guess very VIP is the translator note. Again, I apologize. Though this ID may have been a free pass for you to go anywhere aboard the ship up till now, due to quasi-martial law, the passageway connecting decks 2 and 3 are under surveillance, and freely traveling between the two will be impossible. It will likely stay that way until we reach the new continent. Please allow me to escort you back to the upper deck. I'm fine here. Mm. Don't do it to yourself, man. Huh? I told you, didn't I? I'm on business. I'm staying here. But Corporal Misery. Corporal Misery. He's a hunter as well. I see. Oh boy. Yo, I love how like the Zodiacs and Illumi are like face to face. That's so dope. The spiders, are they here on board? Yes, all of them. Brother. Whoops. What can I say? I'm an honest person. So I always end up answering anything I'm asked. Sorry, but I'll have to decline any further comment. As long as I'm on business, I have a duty of confidentiality to protect. Understood. But with that announcement, everyone's been placed on alert in their rooms. IDs are able to be scanned for their residence unit number, and those without one will be apprehended and restrained. If you two log your residential unit number and your IDs to a room in the Central Police Station, you'll be able to remain on Deck 3. Very well. But if possible, I'd like a solitary cell with a shower. I'm not restraining you or arresting you, so you'll have an individual room for lodgings, the same as us. Unfortunately, though, all police force members share a bathroom and toilet. We were just on our way there if you'd join us for now. We'd already confirmed that the fifth son of the Zoldyck family, Kaluto, had joined the spiders. But the oldest son as well? Just what are they planning? The Zoldyck family and the spiders' objective is one thing. But what's even more worrisome of all is if Kurapika were to discover that they're here. Kurapika is in the dead middle of the complex intertwining of Nenbeast, princes, plots, and schemes that is a succession war. Losing focus for even a moment could cost him his life, and the spiders are enough to shake him to his very core. It can't be. Are the spiders after revenge? Are the spiders after revenge against Kurapika? Illumi is a fellow classmate of Kurapika from the Hunter Association. If the spiders know of Kurapika's actions as a hunter, then they could have prepared and arranged everything to make their way here on board. Should I tell Kurapika or not? Mizai. Yeah, Mizai. Oh yeah, that's his name. I discovered someone suspicious without an ID, but there's a bit of a problem. What is it? What did you say? Botabai, Ginta, take care of them for me. I've got to head back to headquarters for now. She's safe and unharmed, right? She's fine. We've got the hunter securing the room. But it seems a few soldiers may have noticed her as well. Issue a gag order to them. Put them on house arrest, whatever it takes. You can relax now. Can you please explain what's going on? What is she doing here? 11th Prince Fugetsu? Yo. Yo, let's go. Oh, come on. That's a hiatus. Beginning next issue, we'll be taking a break for a while. We'll announce when we decide our return date in the magazine. It makes me sad. It does. It really does make me sad. But I think that with what ToGOshi's given us for this for these chapters that we've gotten, what do we get? Like 10 chapters, I want to say. Maybe 9. No, I would say 10. I want to say 10 chapters. Like, we've gotten a lot. Like, we gotten a solid volume of content. Like a solid volume of like super dope content. Like, I'm really looking forward to this. Like, and one thing I have to do when I get enough money is like, I only have like 10 volumes of Hunter x Hunter right now, like the first 10 volumes. But when I like start collecting again, like manga and stuff like that, and I figure out a place to put other volumes, I'm definitely gonna like catch up to like Hunter x Hunter, because I need, like, that's like one of those series that like I need the manga, like I need every manga that comes out for that series, for this series. So volume 35 is gonna be so dope. It's gonna be so dope. Like, oh man, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna reread that. Okay. All right, so that's the end of chapter 380. That was a really dope chapter. I really like that chapter. That was really cool. like, and again, right? Like Togashi understands that like these are things that we're thinking about. Kurapika, his relationship to the spiders, whether he'll like, you know, like how he'll react. Will he trip up? Will he make a mistake? Will it actually cost him his life? Because I feel like Kurapika is a character that people really, really love, but I feel like he's kind of like where he is right now. I feel like he's kind of disposable, and I guess the word like that I guess mean to use isn't necessarily disposable, but closer to like I feel like he's a character that if he died, I'd be like, oh, but at the same time, I'd be like, that's dope because he's not like the way he's making moves right now and doing particular things. I feel like I don't know where he's got to go in terms of like growth. Like his character growth doesn't interest me as much as like Gon's, Killua's, and even Leorio's do. You know what I mean? Like they're own character arcs in the way that they are developed and their progression. Like they matter to me more. Kurapika not so much. I know people love Kurapika. I get it, more or less. But I think that the other three are just more interesting to me. And like with Kurapika, it's not like he's an interesting character to me so much as everything else around him and all the other characters that he's interacting with are much more interesting to me. You know, so if he died, I think that would be an interesting choice for Togashi to make. And I'd like to see the ripple effect that would have on the manga and and Gon and Killua and Leorio and like what that what that would do to them and how that would sort of force them in some ways to shift their sort of ways of thinking, right? Their sort of dogmatic ways of thinking at times. That would be really interesting. But I know that people will be like, oh, this is blasphemy. Kurapika can't die. But I'm like, the only person that I think for Hunter x Hunter that I don't want to die, well, two people. I don't want Leorio to die because I think that'd be like kind of just like ridiculous in some ways in terms of like it'd be kind of like why should Leorio die? But he could die also because he's like my favorite out of the four. But I think he's another one again. Like if I had to be objective about it, I feel like he's another character that like if you killed Leorio off, I think like the story would generally sort of go, and he would also have a like deep like effect, profound effect. Like he would profoundly affect Gon, Killua, and Kurapika. So I think he's also like Leorio and Kurapika are characters that I think like could actually like end up dead for story reasons, for like things that have happened in the plot and stuff like that, and where they're situated in terms of like this current arc and the story in general and where it could go. And I think that makes sense. Killua and Gon, not so much. Like I think like they're characters, and because they're so young and because they're like legit like children, it's harder like, and because they matter so much to sort of the way that Togashi like tells the story and things of that nature and wants to show like character growth, I feel like it doesn't make as much sense to kill them, to like kill them off. But I think Leorio and Kurapika are far more expendable in that sense. That's how I feel about it. But in terms of the chapters, both chapters are dope. I really like one thing that Togashi, again, he's phenomenal at is character interactions in the ways that certain characters, like right, like who's the troop is talking to the Sha'ar group, and like I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I love that. You know, it's just like really, really dope. Like I really like enjoyed reading those conversations, and I enjoy like seeing how certain moves and certain decisions are made based on how the conversations go in between the like set parties, right? That's the thing, right? It's not just like, oh, here's a character standing alone. They're brooding. They're gonna make a decision because they're brooding and thinking about things. No, it's more like these characters are moving. They're moving around in this space, and they're casing their spaces. They understand what's going on in these spaces. They understand how the spaces are structured, and their decisions aren't only particularly affected by the characters that they're interacting with, but the ship itself. You know what I mean? Like, and you never forget that. That's what I love about this arc. It's like the ship is super important. The structure of it is super important to this. You're right, the decks, the entrances to and from certain decks. You know, the ways that they're separated in terms of like political, like political and fiscal like means and stuff like that. Really dope. Really dope stuff. And the way it ended with Prince Fugetsu, we got to see what's happening there. We got to see what's happening there. That's going to be super dope. You know? I'm just really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of this. The volume 35 is going to be so great. Like, I think if people haven't read Hunter x Hunter at all, and they get introduced to the manga in terms of the volumes, and they get up to volume 35, it's going to be such a wonderful read for them. I believe, truly. And like, again, I like this sort of space, right? Like the way that the troops, the Phantom troops making moves without having really hurt anybody. Like they're just talking. They're just talking to people, and people are like, "Yo, like I don't know if we could really mess with them like that." You know what I mean? Like they're just talking. They're making decisions, and everyone understands how dangerous they are. So the troop are able to make those particular decisions because of that, and also because they're proving themselves to be particularly intelligent. It's not like they're stupid, you know. Like if they were dumb, then people would be like, "Oh, maybe they're kind of dumb. Maybe we could like mess with them a little bit." But that dude, the sort of underboss, like one of the underbosses, he almost immediately figured out that he was like, "Yo, I can't mess with him on an intellectual level. Like I can't marionette, pull some marionette stuff. You know what I mean? Like I really appreciate that. And that's why, like, because a lot of times you see that in manga, like if it's a group, they're just like, they might be intelligent, but not at that level, not the entire group. You know what I mean? And like everyone in the fan troop is generally like pretty sharp, generally. Like maybe besides like Shizuku, I don't know. But I think even she's like sharp in her own sort of way. She just kind of has her head in the clouds at times, but that doesn't mean that she's not like intelligent or bright or anything like that. So I just really love what Togashi's doing here. Again, that whole the whole thing with the sort of pyramid scheme, Nen ability, and the way that has so many implications, and the way that it's like sort of a commentary on the ways in which like capitalism breeds certain like schemes like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, man. The political commentary, the economic commentary, right? Just so much commentary on like class, and power and everything like that. It's just really good. I mean, do we have another manga in Weekly Shonen Jump that's doing that at that level? At this level? I don't think so. I mean, if you could tell me, please do, because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. All right. I mean, I haven't seen it. Yo, Dragonite, what's good? What's good? I haven't seen it. If someone could tell me, someone could legitimately tell me that you've seen another manga that's as good as Hunter x Hunter in terms of what it's doing here in this arc and the commentary and the use of abilities to comment on real world societal ills, I haven't seen it. If you try to tell me One Piece, you tell me One Piece, what's going on right now is like on the level of what's going on here in Hunter x Hunter. You better go, find a corner, stand there for a while. All right? Because you wildin'. All right? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? That's how I feel about that. But what I wanted to talk about very quickly, and I want to have a Hunter x Hunter discussion. That's something I really want to have. I also want to have my Kingdom stream. That's going to be like at 4, so I have enough time like after the stream to kind of just rest my voice and make sure that I can do the stream for a while. It's probably going to be for like 2 hours. But I really want to have a Hunter x Hunter discussion. Even though people are like really hyped about One Piece and they're talking about One Piece, I don't care. I'm not interested in that. I really want to have a Hunter x Hunter discussion, a stream. I'm going to try to figure out who's willing to be a part of that. you know, and I want to have it sometime soon. And I want to have it like, I want to have it sometime soon because I'm really dying to talk about Hunter x Hunter, y'all. And I know people are like really invested in One Piece right now, but I want to find some people that are really invested in talking about Hunter x Hunter and what's happening in these arcs. And maybe, you know, maybe I'll reread all of the chapters on my own, like that we've gotten in this from like the beginning of the Succession arc to now, and you know, make sure that I have everything like everything's on the up and up, and I know everything that's going on. But yeah, I want to do that. So I'm gonna try to set that up at some point. It might be today, it might be tomorrow. We'll see. You know, maybe instead of the Kingdom stream, I might do you know, because today's Friday. So you know, but I'm off because like spring break's pretty much started for me on this Friday. So I'm off today, so I have time. But maybe I'll have the Kingdom stream tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because tomorrow I thought tomorrow was Sunday because it felt like a Saturday today. But maybe tomorrow I'll have the Kingdom stream because today is Friday, and Saturday will and I'll react to something else. I'll react to Paradise Kiss today, or Soul Ending. I'm not sure which one. Maybe I'll do Soul Ending so I can finish that off because I really want to get back to it. And then tomorrow will be the Kingdom readathon and maybe a Hunter x Hunter stream. Where, you know, or if Braga's doing that tomorrow, then I'll join him tomorrow. But if he's doing it too late, then like I'm just gonna do my own thing. Because like I can't stay up that late. You know, we'll see. But very quickly, this is gonna be a long video. This is already a long video, but we have to talk about it because, bruh, ToGODshi is going on a hiatus. Okay. And for me, the thing that really gets on my nerves, and it gets on my nerves, it irks me a bit, is how people will claim to understand that Togashi is decidedly dealing with right. It's like very clear, right? From the information that we're getting and everything like that, it's decidedly clear that Togashi's dealing with like pretty intense back issues. So when people are like, man, you know, I don't understand why he got to go on a break. I don't really get it. You know, I can't read it because that. I'm like, dude, if you don't want to read the chapters, fine. I'm not telling you have to read the chapters. You have to read it in that way if it comes out. If you want to wait for a volume to come out, go for it. If you don't want to read it at all until a certain number of chapters have been published, that's also fine. I really do not mind. But what I really have a disdain for is when individuals will say, oh, Togashi's lazy. He doesn't want to do any work. He doesn't I'm like, you clearly have no real conception of how much work it takes and how much energy and drive it takes to be a manga, period. Right? It's not like you just, oh, I'm going to be a manga today. No. I'm going to draw this manga. It'll only take me a couple hours, and then I'll draw, you know, a chapter, and I'll be done. I'm like, yo, like, you have no conception. You can't. There's no way that you can have any conception of what it means to be an artist in any sense. Right? Like in terms of like drawing, writing, in those particular two senses. If you don't understand how much work goes into that, I don't like that. Nah, you can't tell me that like you genuinely believe that Togashi's being lazy and then say that you understand that he's a mangaka and that it's hard and everything like that. No, because like that's like to me that's very contradictory. It's like no, you're not getting it. That's what we call lip service, right? When you say, oh, you know, I understand, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I don't mean to be rude, or no offense, but it's like, dude, like you know that an offensive thing is right, or a rude comment is coming right after those statements. So it's like, once you say that stuff, I already know what's coming. So when you're like, oh, I understand that Togashi is hurting and that, you know, this back problems are severe, but you know something ridiculous is coming out of someone's mouth after that comment, after that, like right, what we call a subordinate clause, kind of, right? Like we know it's coming after that. You already know. It's a little disgusting, you know? It just really bugs me. And like Togashi is one of the best mangaka of our time, one of the best just writers of our time, you know? So for people to be like he's lazy, and so for people to be like he's lazy, even though he's been dealing with these like health issues for like at least 20 years now, something like that, at least. So it's like, yo, get out of here, man. You know what I mean? It's like, no. Like, and it doesn't get easier as you get older, right? People, it's almost like people expect like, oh, well, Togashi's gotten older. Those back problems will get easier. He'll get better, you know, as he gets older. I'm like, that makes no sense. That's not how the human body works. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. So for you to sort of, you know, so for people to sort of say like, oh, he's lazy. Why don't other people write for him? I'm like, do you understand how like the mind of creators work? Right? Like, do you understand how that works? Like, if you are a creator of, and particularly right of like art or whatever you want to conceive of as art, like it's almost like blasphemy and extremely rude, to sort of tell somebody that someone else should write their work for them or someone else should draw their work for them. That's so rude. It's such a rude thing to say. I feel people like, you know, even I said it like at the very beginning, but at that point I was like super young. I was like what, 20, 21 or something like that. You know, I didn't get it. I didn't get it yet. You know, because I wasn't really creating at in a certain way. But now like I get it because like for a long time I was writing poetry. I was like really in that. I was like I consider myself to be a poet. Like I was doing that work. You know what I mean? I was doing that work. I was writing scholarly journal papers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. For someone to say, yo, someone else should do that for you. No. You know, and it's not about pride. It's about the fact that you need to be the person to express what you want to express. And the feeling that the only way that you can express that is through your own hands, through your own efforts, through your own use of your energy. So for someone to be like, oh, you know, someone else can do that for him. He needs to just like pass off his stuff to whomever. It's such a ridiculous statement, and it's such a like almost willfully ignorant statement. It might also just be a generally ignorant statement because some people just don't get that. But it's so blasphemous to me to hear that. You know what I mean? If you talk to somebody else and they're like, yo, like if you ask a friend who was a poet, a novelist, a whatever, like a artist, like who like paints, draws, pencils, whatever, oils, whatever, they look at you like you foolish, and super rude, and totally lacking and devoid of any sort of shred of empathy at all. Because you clearly don't get it. So that's why I'm like, I'm just tired of hearing this stuff. And then people will come to me with just like these weak arguments, weak excuses that are still knee deep in ignorance, just knee deep in it. Either they're knee deep in just straight up ignorance, or they're knee deep in willful ignorance. And you can see it, you know, you could just tell. So for me, I'm just done with that stuff. You know what I mean? If I see that stuff, like I'm sorry, but like I'm having conversations with people. Like I'm not gonna be like, well, you're a scumbag or anything like that. But I'm just gonna be like, yo, like you gotta understand, like comments like that are extremely rude. They just are. They're rude. And you have to open your eyes, open your ears, and become more empathetic and become more of a listener. You know, and think about why the comments that you're making in that sense are rude, because they're rude. So that's where I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there because this went on for a long time. But I had to like speak my mind on that because it was really bothering me, and I kept seeing it, and even now I still see it. And people like they just keep, you know, they keep giving these like disclaimers or whatever before they make like a particular comment. And I'm like, yo, disclaimers do not really help you. Disclaimers do not negate rude comments. They don't. If anything, they just make you seem more rude because you decided that you thought a disclaimer was going to hide the rude comment. And even if you didn't get that a disclaimer doesn't do that, then you gotta come on, step it up, man. So no, tired of it. All right, so that's why I'm gonna end it here. Hunter x Hunter chapters 379 and 380. ToGODshi, take those naps, man. Take those naps that you need. Take that rest. If you want to play video games while you're resting, play video games. I'm pretty sure like he can figure out how, you know, he can play video games for a little bit of time. He deserves it. He is a person. He can do whatever he wants at this point in his life, in his age, in terms of the work that he's put out. He can do whatever he wants generally in that sense. I'm not concerned that he's playing video games. Who am I to be like, yo, why are you playing video games? When all these people that are complaining about him playing video games play video games. When they probably might feel like, or other people might feel like they should be doing something else. Like the hypocrisy of that stuff is like, ugh. You know what I mean? So no. All right. That is my review, live reaction / review. Hunter x Hunter, chapters 379 and 380. All right. And I had to make those comments because I'm just like, yo, the hate with Togashi it's just getting too ridiculous. People see him standing in a picture and they're like, yo, he's standing in a picture. He must have spent 4 months standing just like that, not doing anything. Like, no, you know? So come on. Togashi, get that rest, y'all. Get that rest. And I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. For those chapters. And if you decide that it's going to take 2 years to rest, take 2 years. I'm not really concerned because I got other stuff that I can read. I have a life. Like there are things that like take up my time. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm chilling. But like if Hunter x Hunter is like the sole sort of like source of happiness for you, that's like you got to do that work for yourself and figure out why Hunter x Hunter is the sole like bit of happiness that you have in your life, and you got to figure out how to do the work to change that. All right. So I'm the black manga critic, like my boy Sombra Hypoo said, bringing it back. I'm the black manga critic, y'all, and I'm out.